In finding the area and perimeter of semicircles and quarter circles, we need to work with our formulas from the area and perimeter of a regular circle. So let's focus first on a semicircle, meaning half a circle. The formula is for area pi r squared. Because this is a semicircle or half a circle, then simply our formula for area is going to be pi r squared, and then we're going to just need to halve it. So the same thing for the area of a quarter circle. Area for a full circle is pi r squared, but because it is a quarter of a circle, we need to find a quarter of it or divide it by 4. So that's when r is the radius, the distance from the centre to the outside. So just be careful that you are getting the radius measurement, not the diameter the whole way across that full circle. Perimeter can be slightly more challenging, but let's look at the formula for finding the perimeter of a circle. It is pi times the diameter. So if we're going to try and get the perimeter of a semicircle, we're going to need to divide that, or have half of it. But in this case, if you look at the semicircle, half is only going to give you the perimeter around there, around the curved edge, or what we would have called the circumference. So it's half the circumference. So you need to make sure that you add on the bit down here. So it's pi times the diameter divided by 2, and at the end you're going to need to add on the diameter at the end. So same for the quarter of a circle. Pi times the diameter would give you the circumference of a full circle, but we only want a quarter of that. You can see there. So we're going to divide it by 4. You can see though what we need to add on the end is the radius and the radius again. So we need to add on 2 lots of the radius. All that is the same as adding on the diameter as well. First, let's look at this example of a semicircle, and let's try and find the area and the perimeter. So we know the area is going to be equal to pi r squared, and because it's a semicircle, we're going to need to halve that to get the area of what's inside here in square centimeters. In this case, we've been given the diameter measurement, so we're going to need to change that into the measurement that would be the radius, which would be half of that would be 4 centimeters for the radius. So we can put that into our formula of pi times by 4 squared divided by 2, which will give us pi times by 4 squared is 16 divided by 2. So where pi is 3.14, that is going to be equal to 50.24 divided by 2, which will give us the answer of 25.12 centimeters squared. When finding the perimeter, we're going to need to find, in this case, half of the circumference and then add on the diameter. So that is going to be equal to pi times the diameter divided by 2 and then add on the diameter. So let's put our value in. So we know that's going to be equal to, and I'll put the pi value in as 3.14 this time, times by the diameter of 8, all divided by 2, so we get half of the circumference, and I'm showing there now. And then to get the full perimeter of this shape, we're going to need to add the diameter of 8 centimeters at the end. So if we put that into our calculator, 3.14 times by 8 is 25.12, divided by 2 is equal to 12.56. plus 8, giving us an answer of 20.56 centimeters. That is our perimeter, right the distance around of this semicircle. To find the area of a quarter of a circle, we'll use our formula for the area of a circle, pi r squared, and because it's a quarter, we're going to find the quarter of it or divide it by 4. In this case, we do have the measurement of the radius of a circle, so therefore we can go pi, which is 3.14, times by the radius, 5 centimeters squared, all divided by 4. We know that 5 squared is equal to 25, so 3.14 times by 25, all divided by 4. If we plug 3.14 times by 25, gives us 78.5, and then we divide that by 4, will give us 19.625 centimeters squared, or let's round that to 2 decimal points to give us 19.63 centimeters squared for the area measurement. To find the perimeter of a quarter circle, we need the formula for the perimeter or the circumference of a circle. In this case, usually it's pi times diameter. There isn't really a diameter in this case, we probably should use, to make more sense, the other formula for the perimeter of a circle, which is 2 times by pi times by the radius. And because it's only this quarter part of the circumference of a circle, we need to divide it by 4. Of course, we're missing then the other two sides that we can simply add on, which is there, 2 lots of the radius, which we can see straight away is going to be 10. Let's plug it in. 2 times by pi, which is 3.14, times by the radius, which is 5, all divided by 4, plus that 2 lots of the radius is 10. So that is going to be equal to, if we're trying to simplify this a bit better, 2 times 5 I'm going to do straight away is 10. So 10 times 3.14 divided by 4, adding on 10. You can see that that 10 measurement there would have been the diameter if you had have used or had a full circle, if you think about it as a full circle. Now let's plug that into our calculator. 10 times by 3.14 is of course going to be equal to 31.4. We divide that by 4 is 7.85. Add the 10 on the end gives us a final answer of 17.85 centimeters.